Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Arsenal Show. Let's do the intro and let's get right into it. Yes, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and to another episode of the Arsenal Show. Now, it's just me again by myself this week, so hopefully it can be like last week again, and we can have another great show like we normally do. So, kicking right off into it, Arsenal played Newcastle away, and what an emotional roller coaster of a game this was. And Arsenal, we went back into it with a lineup that we expected, with just the change of Mascara at the back for Saliba, Bukayo Saka going straight back into the first team, and obviously Eze come in for Marino. So Arsenal, I thought, started really well here at Newcastle. The emphasis and the attacking intent was here right from the off for Arsenal. Within the first 5 minutes, Eze tested Pope with a volley. Then on about the quarter hour mark, we have the big incident with Victor Gyökeres and Nick Pope, and I was with Melvin and Mike on Arsenal Above All on Monday, where we spoke about this incident there, and I'll speak about it here again. It's an absolute joke of a decision, and the drivel that has been spoken about this week regarding this incident as well. It's so obtuse, and it's just so stupid. And I mean, Michael Owen, he says one thing when he's a pundit on TV, and then his arse just completely falls out when he's got Howard Webb in front of him. He didn't challenge him enough, and he let him get away with a completely nonsensical explanation of the proceedings of this incident. The only one that I think can hold their head high is Jay Bothroyd. Jay Bothroyd on Sky, he completely made Dermot Gallagher look every inch of the penis that he is. So yeah, shout out to Jay Bothroyd. Well done, Jay Bothroyd. I mean, this is a stonewall penalty, and I can't believe it hasn't been given. And then added to that as well, I have no idea how Bukayo Saka, who is basically through on goal with a tap in this incident when the whistle gets blown, that now all of a sudden it's been deemed that the keeper's touched the ball, and Newcastle got the drop ball. It was it was an uncontested drop ball to Newcastle. I don't understand how that, when Arsenal basically are clean through on goal and something doesn't go their way, all of a sudden it's an uncontested drop ball for the defending side. That decision baffles me, because if that's the case as well, then you've admitted that even though there was potential contact, Gyökeres has embellished that contact. So why wasn't Gyökeres booked as well? The whole thing, it was a complete and utter joke. But what I loved here is that Arsenal still we still rallied round. We didn't let this deter us on the day, and we had a great chance about 10 minutes after that with Trossard, who then he rattled the post, and it was a great move, and it would have been one of the goals of the season if that come off for Arsenal. That was a fantastic move, and just Trossard just didn't get the execution correct and hit the upright. But yeah, Newcastle, yeah, they don't go ahead. It was a mistake from Mascara, and unfortunately for Arsenal, Gabriel then makes a mistake for the goal as well. And Voltemada for Newcastle, he's a phone mast, isn't he? He's a lamppost all in one. And I don't know if Gabriel didn't get up early enough, but in an attempt to jump with him, he's tried to buy a foul, Gabriel, and he's never going to get that. He's never getting that foul at Newcastle. And Newcastle obviously then go 1-0 up, and Gabriel and Voltemada had the afters, and it's been perceived by Geordies and the usual media lovey-doveys that Gabriel should be getting a 10 stretch in prison for what he's done here. Um, in the last couple of years, in games between these two opponents, I've seen Newcastle do a hell of a lot worse than what Gabriel did, and they've got unpunished. And Newcastle as well, before the match, all over their social media accounts, get into them. That's all they posted. They posted a graphic with "get into them" on it, and we all know what the connotations of that is and what the connotations of that means. But they're one of the only teams I know in the league that have this "get into them" philosophy. But yet, when someone does that back to them, it's considered a crime. It's considered unfair. It's considered nasty. I think Newcastle, they got made to swallow their medicine a bit at the weekend, and it was it was lovely to see. But yeah, second half, Saliba, he then come on for Mascara right away, and Arsenal, like I said, still not rattled, still not deterred, and we kept going, and we had a brilliant chance from Jurriën Timber after a lovely Zubamendi pass over the top. But eventually, Arsenal then equalised through Mikel Merino, and it's a brilliant header from him. It's a fantastic, fantastic header. It's a well-worked corner routine from Eze and Declan Rice, and then Eze puts in like a David Beckham-esque curled cross, and Merino, he is very gifted and special in the air. I think last week I had a lot to say about him. I'll mention again that I feel he doesn't necessarily need to start, but he would be great as someone to bring on due to just how special he is in the air from attacking situations. But yeah, he flicks it, and it goes in off the post for 1-1. And then you're thinking, well, we're drawing this game. Why not? We can win it. And Gabriel, for me, he then redeems himself, and he makes it 2-1 for Arsenal right near the depth, and it's another set piece, and it's an absolutely amazing scene at St James's Park, where we've had an awful run against Newcastle, and again we showed real strength of character here during this game to come back from an injustice situation, keep playing our game, keep attacking, keep going, and getting the rightful result, which we did. But yeah, man of the match for this one. I'm giving it to Declan Rice. That second half, especially at certain points after all the substitutions were made and what have you, and even before the subs were made, actually, Declan Rice sacrificed his own game to stay in solidarity with Zubamendi, who was getting physically, dominated by that three by Newcastle. When Zubamendi come off, Declan Rice obviously moved to the number 6, and he just completely run the show. Declan Rice against Newcastle. He got 88% on his passing. He obviously got an assist. He made 3 clearances. It was an all-round performance from Declan Rice. He was absolutely superb. And shout out as well to Jurriën Timber. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And Mikel Arteta, shout out to him, because his subs, initially when they were made, I didn't know what formation we were doing. I didn't know what we were doing. They made no sense to me, but he got them absolutely spot on, and he got them spot on the timing as well. And another one I'll shout out as well, the captain. I thought Martin Odegaard especially was absolutely immense when he come on. So yeah, fair play to the captain also. Okay, and then moving on, we played Olympiakos next in the Champions League, and we made 6 changes to the side after that game versus Newcastle. Ben White come on, Saliba started, Lewis Skelly started, Odegaard started, Merino started, and Martinelli, that he come in also. And I was very, very fortunate, and I was very lucky to be able to watch this game in person. And I must say, just off the bat, the atmosphere from both fans. I know a lot of people have said about the atmosphere at Arsenal lately, but the atmosphere in this game against Olympiakos was brilliant from the home and the away side. But yeah, back onto the game. Arsenal started really, really bright here. Martinelli, great chance early in the game, and it all started basically from David Raya playing a beautiful pass into Martin Odegaard, who then found Lewis Skelly. And Lewis Skelly he was driving, he was going for it on his own, and he put in a fantastic cross. And Martinelli just unfortunately didn't connect properly when the cross come in. Yeah, it should have been 1-0 that early, and then you would have thought the floodgates are definitely going to open. But Arsenal soon opened the account after a lovely through ball again from Martin Odegaard into Gyökeres. And this is the kind of service that Gyökeres wants. And this is the kind of service that Gyökeres needs to thrive at this club. And Gyökeres, he absolutely bodies both the defenders and he fires at goal. He's unlucky. The ball hit the post and Martinelli's read it. And he went to shield the ball and maybe play Gyökeres in again, but then he realised the pressure that's around him and he tucks it in for the opener. And it was a very, very nice build up and goal there. David Raya, he then had to produce a reflex save from Podence. I mean, we slightly tailed off after the opening goal, Arsenal, and we got nearly punished here. But David Raya, what a save! I mean, like I said, I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to be there in the ground, but it's a superb save from him, and he's really becoming one of the best in the world in his position, if not, at least top 4, maybe top 5 goalkeepers in the world now. David Raya, it's superb watching him. But Odegaard again, he laid in Gyökeres, and I get why Gyökeres has gone for himself here, as he's desperate to score, isn't he? But he really needs to lay in Martinelli for the tap-in era, because Martinelli's just clean through. If he looks up, doesn't go by himself and sees the space that Martinelli's in and plays in the ball, that's easily 2-0 there. But Trossard as well, he hit this lovely outside of the boot pass, it's like a bit of a swaz on it, into Gyökeres, and Gyökeres then smashed that over the bar. And Arsenal then in the second half, we had chances, but we wasted them. Trossard especially, he had 2 that I can remember. One was a volley that he got completely wrong, and another he took like an extra touch to set himself that just wasn't needed. If he hit that first time, he probably scores. But then Olympiakos, they get the ball in the net, and luckily for Arsenal, he's offside. It was a lovely cross initially from the Olympiakos player. It's a superb cross, and David Raya again made a great save from the header from the striker. But then when the rebound went in, obviously they were offside. Odegaard, he then had a great chance. Eze come on and he pinged this lovely diagonal ball to Bukayo Saka, who then come on as well, and it just went and Saka, he just went by himself. He fancied himself against these defenders, and it was all him, the move after the diagonal ball from Eze, which is all Saka being Bukayo Saka really. And the goalkeeper and the defender, the initial shot by Odegaard was denied, and then they blocked up the follow up. And I saw after the game the interview that he did, and he was very angry with himself that he didn't score here. But no, I think it was a good save by the keeper and good defending by Olympiakos. But then Saka, he put the game to bed after another lovely pass from Odegaard to make it 2-0, and it was a driven shot that went right under the goalkeeper. It was a nice finish from Bukayo and another great through ball from the captain. But yeah, man of the match here, I'm going to give it to Martin Odegaard. I thought he was immense. He was absolutely immense in this game against Olympiakos. He had the most touches. He had the most touches in the final third. He created the most chances, and then he also had the assist for Bukayo Saka. But big shout out as well for me, being there in person and watching it. Like I said, Miles Lewis Skelly. Miles Lewis Skelly's amazing. He is amazing. He won the most duels on the night, won more fouls than anybody, and he made the most tackles for Arsenal. And I mean, he is a supreme talent. When you watch him in person, you just realise like how good he really is. And for me, I don't know if it's going to be at left back. I don't know if it's going to be as a 6. I don't know if it's even going to be as an 8. But you've got to find a way to get Miles Lewis Skelly more minutes and back into this team somehow, because he's too good to be sitting on the bench. Honestly, he's a superb player. But yeah, I just want to shout out Melvin if he's listening or watching. Melvin helped me out in terms of getting the tickets for this game, and I learned a lot being there in person about the Arsenal, watching this game on Wednesday. this side has definitely improved from what I've seen before. I feel it's got more belief. I feel that they want to win more than they ever have. Um, the emphasis in terms of the attacking sense to match the defensive prowess that we have, it's all coming apart. It's all coming together. You can see that it's, the players are clicking, but the the only thing is that final execution of that final killer balls at points, and then the end product. The finishing, once the finishing matches the build up and the creativity that's slowly coming together, we are going to be a serious problem. Arsenal are definitely going to be a serious problem. And while I understand that everybody wants more goals from Gyökeres, his overall game, especially when you watch Gyökeres in person, it's so good. His overall game. I think a lot of people diminish him as a footballer and just see him as this, tap-in merchant or this goal scorer. But he's a fantastic hold-up player and actual footballer, as well as how he is in goal. And he makes so many amazing runs. When you watch him in person, he makes so many amazing runs that like drag defenders away to leave space for others and everything. But he just doesn't receive the ball enough. He just does not get given the ball enough for me. Martinelli, he had one in the first half. He took this amazing touch and then he went to set it and he just knocked it on too far. But if he controlled it and then didn't do that knock on, he's just got a nice, 5, maybe 8-yard pass into Gyökeres, who's then cleaned through on goal and got a shot at the keeper. And there was another one as well with Ben White. And Ben White, he had blades of grass to run into, but for whatever reason, he's decided to just turn around and go sideways and play the ball backwards. It made no sense whatsoever. And him and Arteta after that had a bit of a verbal shouting match with each other. Arteta was not impressed and not happy with him doing that at all. But yeah, I saw Arteta, what he said post-game as well, and he asked Martin Odegaard to take more risks. He said, about when he had that high-scoring season, he was shooting more, he was doing more. And I agree. I agree with this sentiment. I think that there are times there with Martin Odegaard, and he was clearly man of the match. He was superb. But there were a few times where he received it on the edge of the box, and Martin Odegaard from a few years ago would take a touch, set himself, and smash that. He'd go for goal if instead of trying to play a pass and set up somebody else, he had enough in himself and in his locker to go, do you know what, actually I fancy smacking that. And I think he needs to do that more, and hopefully he does, because even when he was out and Martin Odegaard hasn't been at the level, for me the best way I could describe it, at the end of every season, we do review shows on here. And I think it's the first time since Martin Odegaard joined us permanently last season that he wasn't given the Player of the Season award by me or by Tom, who comes on here and does the videos. So that's, for me, Martin Odegaard is easily Arsenal's best player. When he's on form, when he's on song, he's easily Arsenal's best player. It's not even close, but he's definitely dropped off, and I think he knows that. But even with him gone and him not even being at his best, you saw the gigantic size hole that Arsenal had without him in that team. And I'm so glad he's back. And if he can carry on playing at the level that he played at against Olympiakos, then that's only going to benefit Arsenal going forward. But yeah, West Ham today, 3 o'clock. And here's my lineup for this one. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be everybody else's lineup. You got, Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubamendi, Odegaard, Rice, and then Saka, Eze, and Gyökeres. I think for this one, obviously West Ham new manager, Nuno, he got the draw in his first game. I think they'd be over the moon if they got a draw against us today as well. I think they're going to pack it out in defence. They might play 5 there instead of a 4, and they're just going to, sit and try and hit us on the break with Somerville or Bowen. I think they're just going to absolutely pack and contain and just try and hit us on the break with those two quick players. But that's why I've gone for your Eze and your Saka together instead of a Martinelli or a Trossard. Get your players that are techie, get your players that are good on the ball and can manipulate the ball. Get as many sort of creative players in there as you can to help you go against a low block. And I think it's going to be quite a difficult game. West Ham, last couple of years, especially at home, have they've got the running of us, and we need to get rid of that and put that to bed. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal win against West Ham today, and I'll wrap that up about here. 20 minutes in, nice and early, just a nice little catch up over the last two games, and then a small little bit for today. But yeah, international break next week, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get the schedule better and we could come back with guests to review West Ham. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Enjoy the game wherever you're watching today. And yeah, look after yourselves. And I'll see you again when I'm back again. Take care. Enjoy the game, everybody.